Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today for May the 3rd, 2022. The man they call Meathead, Matthew Thomas, the M.O.T.S. Good morning, M.O.T.S. How's the Tuesday morning treating you?
Somebody knows their months. The Tuesday morning is treating me fantastic. Good to talk to you on a Tuesday morning, Meathead.
Do you know why I know my months?
How do you know your months? Yeah, I was going to say, you got a whole knuckle trick, don't you?
Oh, yeah, that's what I used to do in college was the knuckle trick. Drove the girls wild.
I mean, a man that knows his months does drive people wild.
Well, you know what else drives him wild, too? And boy, this show's off to an amazing start so far. You know what else drives him wild? Collar and elbow. Matthew, tell us all about it.
I mean, everybody loves somebody wearing spiffy collar and elbow brand material, and you can purchase all of that at collarandelbowbrand.com. Promo code LindaK saves you 10% that you can use to buy more collar and elbow gear, or buy a calendar so you can know your months like the man they call Meathead, or buy more knuckles so you can.
I got it. Oh, you should just see what happened right here. I mean, literally like a light bulb went on. How about a calendar in the shape of a fist? So that way the different months pop up on the knuckles.
I think you're onto something.
I'm always onto something. Too bad I can't make money off of it.
You know what? That would be the ideal thing to sell in the middle of a mall, like in one of those mall kiosks.
Oh, you mean the ones that are right in the middle of the walkway that people usually cut through that don't want anything to do with it? Mm-hmm. Hey, my friend, do you like a radio-controlled airplane? Or how about the back massage?
Those? You know, both of those things appeal to me.
How about cell phone cover? No cell phone cover? Yeah, I get you bedazzled wood. How about that?
Sign me up. You know, there's a reason I don't go to malls anymore, because I'm a sucker for all that.
Bedazzled wood? Gotcha. Hey, did you know that on the topic of bedazzled wood, did you know that there's also something called vajazzling?
No, I'm not familiar with that concept either.
So, think it out. I just said bedazzled wood, and now I said vajazzling. You know where I heard it from? Jennifer Love Hewitt. She is the one that coined the term vajazzle.
So it probably has something to do with like MTV VJs is where I think you're going.
No, not at all. She likes to do it for, if she's feeling special, or sometimes she does it for the other person, but she likes to vajazzle herself. She likes to bedazzle her. Yeah. Jennifer Love Hewitt, JLH, is a vajazzler.
Well, you learn something new every day. And I mean, that honestly could be one of your facts of the day on your, day-by-day calendar where you ripped a little page off.
Hey, let's move into the news here. There is a budding relationship going on in the world of wrestling. A former WWE star with a current Raw superstar. Can you guess who? Go ahead with the joke answer, then give me a real answer.
Well, you said budding, so one can only expect that it's probably Buddy Murphy and somebody.
Yeah, I did do that, didn't I? You know what? That one wasn't as planned as I thought, and it literally came out that way. I must have thought it in the back of my subconscious there. Buddy Murphy and Rhea Ripley have become an item, it sounds like. So really happy about that, how that's going on there. Really happy with things that are going on for Rhea Ripley in general. I think that she's on the right path when it comes to Raw.
Yeah, no, she is definitely one of the highlights on a weekly basis, and it's good to see her getting some storyline progression, and hopefully that continues.
There was a lot of talk over the last few days that one of our favorite shows, yours and mine, Dark Side of the Ring, was not making it to a season 4. Matthew, Vice TV had tweeted out last night, and says, due to the rumors that the show had been canceled, they say that we have some rumors flying around about season 4's Dark Side of the Ring. We are as committed as ever to both the series and the broader Dark Side franchise. So Dark Side of the Ring's 2 spin-off series, Dark Side of Football and Dark Side of the 90s, weren't mentioned in the press release when Vice Media Group unveiled its 22-23 programming slate last week. Matthew Thomas, you said you've watched Dark Side of the 90s. Give us a little taste.
You know what? I enjoyed it, and it's interesting you mentioned that because I've actually picked back up with Dark Side of Football. The first episode really didn't do it for me, but I gave it a couple more chances, and there was an interesting episode on Bill Belichick, one on Bill Romanowski. So I guess the show just does episodes on people named Bill. But anyway, no, it's that and the Dark Side of the 90s I've enjoyed too. I did not know a lot about the Viper Room, very relevant now with Johnny Depp being in the news. But some of it was typical '90s stuff that you knew, going a little more in depth on Springer, or man, what were some of the other
Well, I
episodes?
mean, a lot of people don't remember this. I mean, it's common knowledge that it's out there, but I mean, they don't think of this. Jerry Springer had this great show, then he stopped doing the show to become mayor of
Yeah,
Cincinnati, and then went back to doing the show again.
yeah, quite a career arc there. But yeah, no, I mean, Vice in general is one of my favorite networks. I mean, outside of that, they've got some really good long form stuff. You know what? They've got started the other night. I need to pick it back up. It's the declassified special on the Real Men in Black. I need to pick that one back up. Thank you for jogging my memory, Meathead. But it's a really solid network. I mean, some little bit off the beaten path. Um, Stuff, while the
You got
rest
to
of
get
us
one of those
die.
weird. You got to get one of those weird cable packages to get it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I really hope they continue, and I hope they continue on Vice, man, because I like Vice as a whole.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about stuff that really kind of strikes our interest as well. Matthew Thomas, this has been our kind of bag, our deal for the last, what, couple years now? I had said if we don't get a Page Cage and Cage Page match in AEW, they've really failed us as a company. I want to read this list off to you. You know how WWE doesn't like it when two wrestlers have the same name?
Right.
JR's, had an issue with it a couple times, and other wrestling companies have, tried to keep away. Listen to this list. In AEW, they have Wheeler Yuta, Cash Wheeler, Adam Cole, Adam Page, Ethan Page, Paige Van Zandt, Christian Cage, Brian Cage, Tony Storm, Tony Schiavone, Tony Khan, John Moxley, John Silver. Good God.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. It sounds very, very, you
There's
know,
two Wheelers. Two
yeah.
Wheeler.
Well, you know what? I mean, if they got two, they might as well throw a third one there. And I think you and I both know the third one that would fit right into AEW. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, I mean, you can sing the soundtrack, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, I don't think it was necessarily done intentionally, but I think it's something they don't shy away from. And but at the same time, you've got traditional things that sound good and flow as a wrestling name. And I think that's kind of what you just kind of where the industry leads, and they don't necessarily shy away from it. So
Let's talk about something that our guy might want to shy away from. He's been asking for his release from WWE in the NXT division. Roderick Strong, he's already seen 3 of his friends go.
yeah,
He's already seen the manager of his own stable that he was the leader of go. And he's already had other members of his stable go. What is next for Roderick Strong?
probably not WWE. NXT 2.0 is not conducive to Roderick Strong's style. I mean, you're seeing an exodus of almost everybody that was original NXT talent. And the one thing I think that kind of kept where he was at interesting was Malcolm Bevins, and he's no more. So yeah, I can't say that I blame him, and I can't say that it comes as a surprise. As a matter of fact, I think you and Linda mentioned this as a strong possibility yesterday.
Yeah. And again, I don't see them getting rid of the Creed brothers. I think the Creed brothers stay there, stay a tag team, and they move on solo.
Yeah, just I mean, I can't say that we're ever surprised now when they announce departures, but you had quite a few people that were involved in consistent weekly storylines there, and that were seemingly being pushed or seemingly, pretty. I mean, even somebody like a Dexter Loomis, I mean, was involved in a storyline and kind of seemed to be what NXT 2.0 was doing right now, as far as those kind of,
Being sharing
super
genes between
sharing
partners.
genes. Yeah. As far as those, over the top characters. So it's a surprise, man.
Not as big a surprise as in the shopping channel. The fact that Matthew Thomas watches the shopping channel, but Matthew, tell us who you saw on the shopping channel.
So here's the deal, and here's my television habits. Like a lot of people, a lot of the stuff that I watch is either on demand on my cable, or either something like a over-the-top network on my Roku. So in order to access my Roku, I have to hit my little TV
Wait,
input.
say Roku again.
Roku.
It's not that hard to you. It's Roku.
Roku. Oh, I think it's a really hard U.
Anyway.
They sent out a press release a while back. So anyway, what happens is a lot of times my actual tuner on my cable box ends up at a station that I don't necessarily always watch. Just kind of ends up just kind of haphazardly where it ends up. And so it happened to be on the on QVC, and which I've actually kind of enjoyed it because I like my TV, my cable home, if you will, to be something nice and relaxing because, not anything that's going to get me too wound up. And so it's kind of landed on QVC for the last, week. And,
oh, yeah, sure.
And this gentleman's on there trying to sell me a computer, and come to find out it's Alex from AEW, the new vampire manager.
Well, he's not a vampire manager anymore, and I don't think he was doing vampire. I think it was more of a devil. You're talking about Alex, and I always mispronounce his name, so I won't do it. But the leader of the Death Triangle, also the leader of the Lucha Brothers. Alex working the QVC. So what I had asked out loud to yourself and Linda was, A, are you watching QVC all day, or B, are you like a charter member of the Alex Fans Only website?
So here's the thing. First of all, if he wanted to start a Fans Only website, he could probably produce some premium content because of his ends with HP. So he's probably got all of the, you're at least going to get Alex in 1080p content. Probably the next step up from 1080p 2040 or whatever, 2140 or whatever the next, maybe even beyond that. So he definitely has the resources to produce probably premium quality Fans Only, but that's neither here nor there. The other part of that question is, yeah, QVC now has become the home for my cable. That's kind of my sweet spot, my safe haven. Is where my TV dial lands is QVC.
Okay, well, my wrestling eye normally lands on Raw every Monday night. Did you guys see the text message that I sent amongst us that said, I'm not sure I'm watching the right wrestling? I think I just saw DDP pin Jimmy King and become the new WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
You know what? I mean, as long as you're watching wrestling Monday night, you're watching wrestling.
Yeah, but then, and folks, we're talking about Ready to Rumble from WCW. That was an awesome movie and an absolutely terrible movie all at the same time. So it's awesome to go back. I mean, for one, folks, go back and watch it just a little bit. Look at all the wrestlers that are on there that are no longer with us. I mean, and personalities and all that. I mean, Mean Gene's in the ring. You've got guys like Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, Canyon was the main architect of all the wrestling moves in that movie. Just go back and look over that. A younger Goldberg. You see Rey Mysterio without a mask on. He's got two eyes.
That must have been way back in the day.
That was 2000. So, but I mean, the movie was very condescending to the wrestling fans' intelligence. I mean, it was just absolutely to believe that there was two adult male fans that believe that them, rocking a porta potty was why Jimmy King lost. So.
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. What wasn't strange was the beginning of Raw last night, and let's get into it. I liked this promo. Now, I don't like the slow entrance. I mean, I was starting from behind on Raw last night, because again, Ready to Rumble was on. So I went to Raw. I'm like, okay, Roman's out. I can fast forward 3 minutes because he's going to take his sweet ass time to get to the ring. All right, now he's talking. All right, here we go. North Carolina, acknowledge me. I absolutely loved RK Bro sliding in from the back, hitting the double RKO and in Symphony. I mean, just it looks so cool. They waited. Now, I got to ask, is Drew McIntyre still carrying around Vince McMahon's sword, or is that a new sword made from him? Because he didn't sheath it in the ring post. He just dropped it right on the ring mat. Did you see that?
Yeah. No, I assumed it was still Vince's sword, but I don't really know. What's going on?
Drew, I'm gonna need you to sheath my sword.
Don't really know what's going on with that. Yeah, I like the quick attack by RK Bro, but I'll tell you, man, whatever momentum they had going into this pay-per-view, to me, has been squandered since Friday. WWE had done a great job post WrestleMania. So much of the build of this pay-per-view, so much of the build to their weekly episodic TV. Yes. Raw and SmackDown was the unification of these tag team titles. The tag team program was as hot as I've seen it in decades between these two over tag teams.
If it wasn't for the women, it was those men somehow, some way into the main event every single show.
Absolutely. And it was starting to bleed a little bit more into, brand was starting to bleed into brand. And there was a good debate to be had as to far as what decision WWE was going with. Were they going to have the Usos unify the title and really have a major deal with the bloodline where you've unified two titles now? Or were we going to have RK Bro unify them and your tag team titles, the champion's home was going to be on Raw, although they would probably bounce them back and forth between both brands. There was a lot of momentum into this, and you really had a top tier tag team program at the top of your card. And it has just been follied since Friday, with next to no explanation as to why Shinsuke and Roman are done. And I think what is you mentioned condescending as far as it pertains to Ready to Rumble. I think what's condescending in this to me is, in true WWE fashion, you were trying to represent this as this big major thing that's happened now. Okay, we were going to have a title match. We were going to have a world title match with Roman and Shinsuke. We were going to have a tag team unification title match. So what would be even bigger is to not have a world title match and not have a tag team unification or even a tag team title match. Let's just do a 6-man tag as your main event. This makes absolutely no sense. And the condescending nature with what it's being presented as you, the viewer, you, the consumer, are going to take this and absolutely love this with no explanation as to why we have just watered down your pay-per-view just absolutely blows my mind. I mean, we've seen WWE do some head-scratching things, for years and years, but man, this right here takes the cake for recent memory for me.
Moving on to a 6-man tag, Kevin Owens and the Alpha Academy take on the Prophets and Elias's brother, Ezekiel Jackson.
I think Ezekiel Jackson was on Price is Right last week, right? This is a regular Ezekiel.
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't know if we covered it, but did you see that story? Legitimately, Ezekiel Jackson was on Price is Right.
Yeah, he's not the first WWE superstar to be on there. Spanky had been on there before too. Remember Brian Kendrick?
Yes, man, I want to be on Price is Right.
I did that on purpose, by the way. So continue on. It was Ezekiel and the Street Profits against Kevin Owens and the Alpha Academy. Kevin Owens and Alpha Academy pick up the win.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a great job with Ezekiel and Kevin Owens, and this got us a little bit more of that. So I like seeing this on my TV.
Did you enjoy seeing Bert Hansen?
Bert Hansen.
Oh, he was in the ring with Veer Mahan.
He was Veer's partner. That's right. I did. I liked seeing the local talent.
Because he worked at the smokehouse right down the street.
Yes.
At Stamey's.
And they were in Greensboro last night, right?
They were in Greensboro.
Yeah, I've been to Greensboro several times. I don't think I've ever been to the smokehouse, but I mean, he did get. If you want to get a nice little pop, man, just mention local barbecue.
Local food, yeah, local food barbecue. So that's Carolina style, Southern barbecue. Barbecue differs throughout the country, and we can do another show on that altogether. But I mean, you got your Texas barbecue, you got your Kansas City barbecue, you got your Kentucky, like Louisville barbecue, you got your Southern barbecue, and then there's barbecue around the rest of the country. But yeah, that can differ.
It differs, but here's the thing, I'm okay with it as long as what region in the country you're in, you can get a side of hush puppies with your barbecue. Do you know there are certain places, namely in the state of Colorado, where hush puppies are not a thing, and any barbecue joint worth its weight is going to have hush puppies, and also preferably stuffing.
I know they're listening, and I know that, Matthew, next time you come into Milwaukee, we're going to have to get some now that we're talking about it. But my friends down at the Speed Queen in Milwaukee, that is the barbecue joint. So people, when they come into town, they know they stop at the Speed Queen. It is, it's country famous.
Fantastic. Now, Meathead, are you somebody, do you prefer your barbecue on a barbecue bun, or are you more of a barbecue plate person where you've got the barbecue separate and then maybe some breading or something that you can, play around with, or you just prefer it on a sandwich?
Yes. Meaning I'll go either way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair answer.
I mean, really, the barbecue, it's like a real barbecue at Speed Queen. You get the plate covered in aluminum foil.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing
So,
wrong with that.
let's talk Judgment Day. I don't remember if it was this week that it was named or last week, but the Edge Damian Priest group has a name, and it's Judgment Day. No longer a pay-per-view. It's a group of people with blue lights.
Man, I think it suits them very well. You know what? And if we're gonna name stables after old WWE pay-per-views, I don't necessarily mind that. So I think it fits them extremely well. And Edge and Damian Priest, Judgment Day, they've got a really good presentation.
I think they do too. Now, folks, every time I see that blue light, I hear the Prince song "Blue Light" playing in the back of my head. Go ahead and entertain yourself after you're done listening to this podcast here and bring up Prince's Blue Light. Let me turn on the blue light. Gonna turn on the blue light. Oh, so good. So good. Anyways, Damian Priest versus AJ Styles. If AJ can win this match, Damian Priest barred from ringside in his match with Edge at WrestleMania Backlash. Well, AJ Styles gets the roll-up pin to the win, and then Edge and Damian Priest proceed to beat down AJ Styles. However, saved by his club, Bullet Club, brother, Finn Balor. Yeah, you see what I did there. Saved, and they do the too sweet at the end.
Interesting, man. I saw the save, but I did not make that correlation.
Well, let me add one more piece here. Yes, that's cool and all that Balor came out to save him. They too sweet at the end. I believe that because Damian Priest is barred from ringside, that Edge will get help from Rhea Ripley.
I hope so. But I could also see it being a red herring, it being help from Finn.
Possibly. We'll have to see.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, they're just waiting for a third member, man, because look at those shots. Edge in the center, Damian Priest on the right or the left. I mean, you got that opening there. So we got to get a third person to kind of complete that circle.
By the way, they've been touting that it's the 50th birthday of The Rock and touting the big Young Rock episode for tonight. Did you see all the characters that are going to be on?
I did.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Undertaker, Mankind. I love that show. I really actually love that show.
Yeah, no, I need to get caught back up on it. But yeah, and I kind of like the fact their style with these people that they're getting to portray the talents. They're not going for doppelgangers, they're just going to serve kind of the spirit of the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah, and that's okay with me. Again, it's a fun show. It's actually a fun show. And the clip that I saw tonight, more than the wrestlers, which was fine, but the clip that I saw that made me pop really huge was Randall Park kissing Rock on the top of the head. Hello. Oh, Randall Park, you are hilarious. That's Asian Jim from The Office, by the way.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about Miz TV and Mustafa Ali with the broken mic gimmick. Mustafa, I don't hear enough bass in his voice when he talks.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit of momentum now because of the surprise that we saw last week and the controversy that he stirred up. But, we've seen WWE how many times these grassroots efforts, whether it be Zack Ryder or, somebody else, get hot with something that's happening away from the WWE script, so to speak, and it not really go anywhere. And I mean, I feel like when you've got that spotlight there, you've really got to seize it. So hopefully he can do that.
2-on-1 championship contenders match. The Miz and Theory taking on Mustafa Ali. The Miz and Theory obviously win this one. Now we go back into the 24/7 title match kind of shenanigans. They're in back. Dana Brooke is very, very aggressively yelling at Reggie, and Reggie is just heartbroken. I mean, he just wants to get a little something from Dana. Well, after all the arguing and pushing and shoving, Nikki ASH rolls up on Dana Brooke and becomes the new WWE 24/7 champion. Then she demands that if you want to save our marriage, you get me a match. Dana Brooke versus Nikki ASH. So he saved his marriage, right? Because he got the match. She didn't have to win or lose. He just had to get the match. Well, she pins Nikki and she regains the title. You should get to keep the marriage, right? No, Dana Brooke jumps up on the announce table and says, "That's it. I want a divorce." This marriage has lasted 3 weeks. I'm upset about it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Let's really get down to, I think, what it involves. Like, this whole division is a vehicle for R-Truth, and whatever we need to get more R-Truth. Like,
he's got a new card now.
Yeah,
he's a marriage counselor and a marriage lawyer too.
And he's a squire.
He is a squire. Oh, R-Truth, you are just a treasure to this business. R-Truth is a Hall of Famer, by the way.
Hands down, without a doubt. I mean,
first ballot.
One of the absolutely, as far as my consistent entertainment value, one of the greatest of all time.
Cody and Seth frickin' Rollins in the ring again before the pay-per-view this Sunday. Are you just ready for the match? I feel like I need the match. I don't need to hear him talk anymore.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was actually so my high spots last night were actually this promo and Edge's promo. To me, those felt big, and they felt like they were building up to an important match. And honestly, after I was so excited about the tag team unification, I needed a little bit more build for something. So I was fine to have another week of this.
Let's talk the main event match. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, and Sonya Deville took on Liv Morgan, the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, and a woman who returned last week, not yesterday, but last week, Asuka. Was Becky, Rhea, and Sonya ready for Asuka?
They were not.
I enjoyed this match. I enjoy the way Becky looks. I enjoy that Rhea is already on the heel side, and I was shocked. I was shocked because, you've got the Raw Women's Champion. So she doesn't need the pinfall, but you would expect her to get the pinfall. You've got the returning Asuka, who needs to get the pinfall, who needs to be up front and center. She didn't get the pinfall. Liv Morgan got the win for their team.
Yeah, a few things here. Happy to see Sonya in consistent in-ring action. I think she is a major, major asset to that women's division. Sonya has always come across as a very believable talent, and it was no exception last night. And here's the thing. I think pretty much universally, their multi-man tag match last week on Randy Orton's 20th anniversary of Raw got rave reviews. I think they were trying to capture lightning in a bottle again in the women's division, and I think they did a worthwhile job.
Raw was entertaining to me. I enjoyed watching Raw. Again, like I said, I thought I was watching the wrong wrestling at first because I saw, Mean Gene in a ring with Bam Bam Bigelow and Van Hammer, and Disco Inferno with some big fuzzy jacket on. So Mean Gene asking King Oliver Platt, "Do you think people think I'm sexy?" Oh, Gene. Oh, that was absolutely fantastic. So, Matthew, you and Linda tomorrow morning, correct? Wednesday mornings is now Matthew and Linda time.
Absolutely. It's Matthew and Linda time, and expect an abbreviated show because we have 10 less people to talk about now.
Yeah, it's not going to be fat and fluffy 40. You're gonna get thick and tight 30.
Or maybe we're going for a fit and firm 50.
No. I think because what that'll mean is the man they call Meathead's going to have some editing to do because I'm not putting 50 minutes out there.
We're gonna stretch that bandwidth as far as we can stretch.
Well, that's what they said about my underwear, and that's the end of the show for tonight and this morning. So for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Linda and Matthew, we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.